everybody, it's Analytical Pest here, and today I just wanted to do a kind of let's get to know the vlogger. Um, Already you know about me that I am transgender, and you know that I have certain diagnoses, but I'd like to talk about my past today and let y'all know where I came from, kind of. As I was growing up, I lived in a very religious household. I still do currently until I move out. But, boop, boop. Okay. Sorry, had to mess with my camera there for a second. Anyway, living in a religious household with certain diagnoses was not an easy task. I have been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and they're uncertain whether it's full-blown schizophrenia or if it's just schizoaffective disorder with depression. Either way, when I was about 3 years old, I started hearing voices. I remember we were driving home from, I just remember seeing Barney. Barney was my favorite character when I was little. And I remember we had gone up and we were seeing Barney, and I cried at some point, having to go away. And on the way home, it was raining. And all I could remember from that trip was something that was very startling, but not too startling for a 3-year-old, which was I was looking out the window, and that's when I started to begin to hear voices. At first I thought it was my mom, and I asked her, did she say something? And of course she hadn't, so she said no. I looked at my brother, and he was asleep. My father was not with us current. And so I looked out the window, and it seemed with every drop of rain there was a new voice. So constantly I was hearing just different voices, male, female, everything in between, and at that time they were just mumbling. There were a couple of clear ones that were telling me to scream and to cry and be angry, but I didn't really pay attention to them, and I thought I was just imagining things. About the age of 4, apparently I began to complain to my mother about a figure of a man standing at the end of my bed every night. I said that it was a dark figure, and he just stood by my closet every night. And my mom, of course, thought what most parents think when their children tell them about monsters in their room, and that is, it's the typical monster under the bed type of deal. Well, I don't remember much from my childhood about my hallucinations, but what I do remember is very, what is the word? Vivid. Very vivid hallucinations. For instance, when I was about 8 years old, I was laying in my bed. I should have been asleep, but I wasn't. And when I lived in a trailer house. I have 4 siblings. I am the youngest of all 4, so guess who got to sleep in the living room? So we lived in a trailer house. My sister was in her room. My brothers were in their shared room. I was all alone, and the kitchen light was always lit, so I wasn't always in the complete darkness. But I just remember looking up, and I saw very vividly a baby fox, a red fox, trot across my kitchen floor, pause to look at me, and then it walked straight out through the wall. Now, obviously, that wasn't real, but to me, I had never seen something more real. Growing up in my house as I did, a lot of times I mistook my hallucinations for demons as I got older. When I was about 12, I started seeing more and more of the man at the end of my bed. When I was about 13, I started seeing other things that seemed to attack me at nighttime. When I was about 16, No, I was 18. I was about 18 years old, and I started to hear voices. And it literally was like one person in this ear and one person in this ear, and they were very close to me. And one was saying, kill yourself, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're insane, you're toxic, nobody likes you, nobody loves you, you should kill yourself, you're better off dead. And the other one in this ear was saying, don't do it, you're fine, you're loved, you have people around you that care for you, don't do it. And they would just get so loud, and it got confusing. And I just remember going to my father, and I didn't know I was schizophrenic at the time, and I thought that I was seeing and hearing demons all the time. I would pray and I would pray, but they would never go away. They would never leave me. And it felt sometimes like something was on my back just holding me down, and I thought it was a demonic spirit, because that's the kind of household I was raised in. Eventually it became clear that no matter how much I prayed, and no matter how much I was prayed for, these things were not going away. And I lost faith in God, and I haven't been in church since. He couldn't cure me, so he was never there for me. None of the voices I ever heard was his, so I didn't see what purpose it was. And once I started going to a therapist this last year, I was officially diagnosed with some type of schizophrenia, with paranoid delusions. I have always grown up thinking somebody was watching me. It has been a constant thought on my mind. I thought all the time somebody was watching me in my room. Every action I did, even especially when I was alone, was very guarded. And if I didn't want somebody to see something, then I wouldn't portray that alone in my room. So, life growing up with this disorder was very rough. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, to be honest. Now that I'm on my medicines, it makes life easier. Occasionally I do have a paranoid or some kind of breakdown where I'll see things again and it'll startle me, and I'll think there's somebody come to kill me sleeping under my bed or some stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm pretty okay now. But I just wanted to make this video and talk about this because I figured if there's anybody out there who's going through what I went through as a kid, maybe it's not demons you're facing. Maybe it is. Maybe it's demons that you can't get rid of. But I found before I started taking my medicine that some of my demons were good things. I had a night troll that I called Jasper. He would live under my bed and try to see how close he could get without me seeing him. He would tell me when my car doors were unlocked and when I should go lock them. He would tell me when something was not right in my room or something was not right in the house. Some hallucinations were warning signs for things that subconsciously I knew, but I was not admitting to myself yet. I don't know how I knew, but it just works that way sometimes. But for anybody who's watching this that is going through what I went through as a kid, you can do this. You can beat this. And there is help out there for you. Not all demons can be cast out with holy water or whatever. I don't know. I don't even believe in that stuff. Some demons you have to face. And the earliest you tell somebody about it, the better. They're not going to lock you up. They're not going to send you to some insane asylum. The earliest you get support, the better. Because you will thrive, and you will move on. I was told by my therapist to become a psychologist, despite the fact that I have paranoia and schizophrenic symptoms and major depressive disorder and social anxiety and generalized anxiety. These are all diagnoses I have. Despite all of this, My therapist told me to go ahead and go be a therapist because I'd be good at it. So, live your dreams. Do what you think you couldn't do. Get out there and make yourself somebody. You are awesome, and you can do this. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. And as always, if you have questions or have a topic that you would like me to discuss, feel free to comment below, and I'll talk about it in the next video. Thank you. See you in the next video.